Hey guys, and welcome back to Mellyns. So today I'm going to be showing you how I like to achieve my very glowy skin during the winter. My skin gets a little bit dry during the winter, so I like to do everything possible to make sure it looks glowy and dewy because that's my favorite type of makeup look. I decided to film this today because my spots are finally clearing up. I have broken out pretty badly. I think it's a combination of it being almost that time of the month and I've been trying some new things, so broke out a little bit, but it's all good. It's clearing up, thank God. I have this really big one right here that was like stressing me out. But anyway, so I'm gonna start off with primer. Oh, and ignore if you guys can see this patch on my wall right here. We are almost completed my bathroom renovation. I posted the first part of the declutter and the second part of the declutter is coming on Friday. And we just painted in there this very like bluish gray to match like the marble tile on the floor. And then I painted a section out here on my wall to see if I like it enough to paint my entire room that color, and I decided that I did, so that'll be in the process soon. But yeah, so if you see that random patch on my wall, that is what that is. But we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna start off with primer. And I've been using a little bit of a different combination than I previously talked about in my blog post. It's still along the same lines as I think what I mentioned. I think I mentioned in that post the Burberry primer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which I do really love, but I've been needing a little bit more hydration right now. So I've actually been mixing the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer and the Marc Jacobs what are these called? Dew Drops, the gel highlighter thing. It has such a weird name and I can never remember what it's called. I don't know why, I don't know what it is about it, but I just really struggle. My light is also really washing me out right now. I look really pale. I don't know why. Like looking in my mirror and I'm like, wait, what is going on? But anyway, so I'm gonna do 2 pumps of this and 1 pump of this and then just smear it all over my face. And that's kind of been my go-to priming situation. For some reason, my skin has been extra dry. Oh gosh, I'm dropping things. The past month or so. The FedEx man just pulled up in front of my house. I like this combination because the Smashbox is like the primerizer. It's very like watery almost, I would say. But then the combinations of putting like the hot highlighter in it, I find that the highlighter, because of the gel texture, actually smooths my skin out really well. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, if it's just my skin, but I find that it actually does a little bit of smoothing. So I like this combination because it kind of does everything and then gives my skin a nice little sheen. If you can see that in the camera. So I just like to keep tissues on my desk to wipe my hands off. I'll be using my hands a lot today, mostly because brushes tend to make my foundation look really dry and I just haven't really been loving my beauty blender or beauty sponge in general. I don't know why. So I've been using my fingers a lot for my lighter foundations and I actually think it works really well. So I'm gonna go into my drawer. So the combination for foundation today that I'm going to be using is the MAC Base and Body, and then just to add a little bit of glow, I'm going to put in a tiny bit of the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. This is in the shade Medium. I bought this to kind of test against my Burberry The Glow BB cream, and I think it's like almost a pretty good dupe, so look out for a dupe video soon, but I've been loving this mixed in with a lot of my foundations. I hadn't been using my Giorgio Armani foundation for so long because it was drying my skin out a lot. Because of I've heard that there's like an I've heard that there's like a pretty significant alcohol content in that foundation, so I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. And so I started mixing it with some of my BB creams and it actually helps a lot more to keep my skin glowy and not look dry and patchy. So if you've had that problem as well with the Giorgio Armani foundation, definitely try mixing it with like a little tiny bit of a BB cream or like a glow product. So this is how much MAC Base and Body I pumped out, and then I'm just gonna add like the tiniest bit of this. I just put a little bit. This is also nice too because it's good for if you want to darken up a little bit of your foundations. The Giorgio Armani one, again, is so light on me. I don't know what happened when I got color matched that, but even like right now it's a little bit too light for me, so I don't know. But so I like mixing that with it to kind of darken it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna smooth this onto my face. Like I said, nothing fancy today, just my fingers. I definitely made sure to wash my hands very thoroughly before doing this because you don't want to transfer any bacteria onto your face at all. That would not be good. I'd probably make me break out even more than I already am. So now you can see my skin is like really, really glowy. So this obviously isn't going to give you full coverage, this combination. This is definitely just evening the skin tone. I will go in with concealer in a second and cover up any of my blemishes or any redness that I have. But I think using a lightweight base, especially when you're trying to achieve glowy skin, is a little bit better to work with because it does still give you that glow. I'm not someone who loves a full-on coverage. The most I'll go is medium, so I like a very light coverage, but if you're not someone who likes light coverage like this, obviously you can go for a medium coverage. Some of the foundations that I really love that have a little bit of a luminous finish, not as glowy as obviously using like a very lightweight coverage, but I really like the NARS Luminous, the new foundation. I think that gives a nice, it's not so much a luminous finish, but it's more of like a satiny finish. It's a little bit more glowy than like a natural base, but it's not like this. And then I also really like the illuminating CC Plus cream from IT Cosmetics. I think that gives a very nice luminous base as well, and it has a little bit more coverage, so if that is something that you prefer in your foundations. But I'm gonna go grab my concealer and then we'll conceal some spots and then move on. So I'm going to be using 2 concealers today, and I like to kind of switch it up depending on where I'm putting them on my face, because my under eyes are a little bit drier than the rest of my skin. I like to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer under my eyes, and then the Soft Matte Concealer on any spots. I just find that this works for my skin. Feel free to use 1 concealer, 3 concealers, whatever concealer you like to use. But the Radiant Creamy is also, this is in Creme Brulee, so it has a little bit more of a pinky tone. So I like using it under my eyes to conceal any darkness. And then my Soft Matte is in Custard, so that's more of a yellow undertone. This matches my skin tone really, really well. So I apply this with my fingers first, just kind of warm up the product and soften it a little bit. I gotta cover that mountain on my forehead, man. And I just layer this kind of anywhere I'm having some discoloration or spots, which is pretty much all over my face today. I started using my Drunk Elephant, the night serum. I can never remember what that's called. It's in the pink bottle, and it's actually been smoothing out my skin a ton. And then I've been treating my spots with the Sunday Riley UFO oil, and it's actually, the combination's been helping a lot. Thank God things are starting to calm down. I'm very happy about that. But anyway, I'm thinking about doing, I know we recently did like an updated skincare routine, but I'm thinking about doing another one, more of like a get unready with me, so I can show you guys how I use the products and stuff. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I love skincare routines. It's like one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, so I always want to do them. But I'm just going to blend out my concealer with the Morphe Y10 brush. I love this brush. It's a little dome shaped. It's very dense. It's great. Also, my mirror from Target has reappeared. I love this thing. I'm obsessed with it. So I'm just gonna gently blend this out, and I just like to tap. I don't really like to rub because I want to keep a lot of the pigment kind of the concealer just in those places, and I don't want to drag it onto any of the other places where my skin still looks glowy, although it's starting to kind of mattify a little. So any excess concealer on my brush, I just kind of sweep over my eyelids to kind of what am I trying to say? Cover any discoloration, I guess. Kind of make a nice flat base. I don't go too crazy on my eyelids. I do have some discoloration, but I like to let it peek through a little bit, especially when I'm not doing a ton of eye products like eyeshadow and stuff. We're going to do a very simple eye today, so it doesn't have to be a very opaque base or anything. So I'm going to take the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, this right here, and spray this on my face. I feel like, I mean, I don't use this too often because it's so expensive, but I've already put like a giant dent in here, so I'm a little nervous. But I just give it a nice little shake and then kind of spritz. Oh god, I missed my face. Spritz my face. And then you can see my face does bring on that luminous look again. So I'm not going to put too much powder on my face, but I do want to powder my under eyes a little bit. So we're going to do that. Seriously, I ate some of that. It does not taste good. So I'm going to take this powder brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe E3. I like it when I just want to powder my under eyes because it does have this dome, this tip. Usually I use this brush right here to powder, and this is just like a, I don't even know what brand this brush is. My boyfriend got them for me for Christmas. I think he got them on like Groupon or something, and they are the softest brushes I have ever used. They are incredible. It was like a set of like 20 brushes, and normally like when you buy those things, they're sometimes a little cheap, but they're actually so soft and I use them so often. He did a really good job. But anyway, so I'm gonna use this brush instead today. Oh gosh. And I'm using the Glossier, what is this called? The Wowder. I like it because it is more of a natural finish, especially for under the eyes. So that's what we're gonna go for today. I just take the tiniest bit and kind of just dab and swipe. I just want to make sure this is super concentrated around the eye area and not anywhere else on my skin. So because we're trying to keep the skin nice and luminous, I like to use cream products when I'm doing this. So for my bronzer today, let me get it first. So like I said, cream products to start. I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick in Baked. This is the lighter shade. They do have a darker shade for more medium to dark skin tones. So I'm just going to put this kind of on the outside of my face and then blend it out. And then I'm actually going to go over it with the Makeup Forever bronzer, but we'll get to that in a second. So just going to carve out my face. And it may look like I'm using a lot, which I probably do. But this product blends out so easily that, okay, that side was a little aggressive, that I like using a little bit more kind of to really define these areas of my face, just because it is so easy to blend and such. I think this is my favorite cream bronzer. It's so easy to use. For a really long time, I was really afraid of cream products. I don't know why. I just thought they were just too difficult to use. It just didn't make sense. I didn't have time for that. But if you have dry skin, like my skin is really only really dry during the winter, but if you have dry skin all year round or just during the winter, I think cream products are really helpful to, you know, not emphasize. Why am I struggling talking? I think cream products really help not to emphasize the dryness. But anyway, I'm just gonna blend. And I'm using my e.l.f. This is their small stipple brush, I believe. I really like this brush. I think it was like $3. And it's so nice for carving out your face with like cream products and stuff, because it's so little so you can really like get in there. I don't know, I really like it. But I want them to, do they make a bigger stipple brush? Because this is the small stipple brush. So that leads me to believe that there's like a medium or large stipple brush. But every single place that I have looked for one, I cannot find it, because this is the best stipple brush that I have ever used. It's like dense enough to kind of move the product around, but it doesn't like pick up the product where you won't have anything left on your face. For some reason, oh, the dog is barking at something. For some reason, a lot of stipple brushes actually like move product around too much on my face and will pick up the product and then there's nothing left. So let me know if you guys have that problem as well, if it's just me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but this is the only stipple brush I've ever found that actually works for my skin. I need to look on their website to see if they have a bigger one. Okay, so that is us all blended out. This side is a little bit darker, but we'll fix it when we set it with the powder bronzer, which we're gonna do right now. So the bronzer I'm gonna be using is this Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo, and this is in, I don't know if there's a shade. Lyn actually gave this to me. It's like a highlight and a bronzer in here, but the bronzer has a little bit of a sheen. So when I'm doing these glowy looks, I like to use a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen to kind of set down the cream bronzer. Otherwise the cream bronzer will move throughout the day, especially because my skin is combination. So while it is dry in some places, it still gets a little bit oily in other places. So I'm like, I have to be careful. It's a mess. So I like to set it down a tiny bit, and this has a little bit of sheen, like I said, but it's not like overwhelming like pieces of glitter like a lot of other bronzers. So I do really like this one. I don't know if you can get these anymore. I was trying to find it on Sephora online and I couldn't. So I don't know if maybe these are discontinued. I don't know, but Lyn gave it to me and I'm sorry if it is discontinued. I'm gonna try and find it for you guys, but this is what I'm using. So I just take the tiniest bit on my Makeup Forever brush. This is the 122 straight and wavy brush. Tap off a little bit. Got so much stuff sitting in front of me. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly set that cream product. Now when I'm doing this, I don't use a ton of product on my brush because I do want my skin to stay very nice and glowy. And I feel like layering powder on is the best way to not make your skin look glowy. At least for me, so. And that's it for bronzer. So I am gonna wear I am going to wear blush today, which some of you are probably like, whoa. And I'm gonna use the Milani baked blushes. I like to use something that has a little bit of a shimmer in it, and baked blushes are some of my favorite, and they definitely give a good shine. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of this, like tiny bit. That's not the brush I wanted. And I'm gonna use my Luxie. This is the Pro Precision Tapered Brush. I like this because it's your foolproof way to apply blush. It's so fluffy that it just, you can't mess it up like I often do. But this isn't super pigmented. It's just gonna give a nice like pinky glow to the cheeks. I don't even know if you guys can like full on see that, but it's just, it's very pretty. It's very subtle. It's the kind of blush that I like. So now we're going to move on to highlight, and I'm going to layer 2 highlights, which you guys don't have to do this, just stick with one if that's what you want, but I like to layer. So the first one I'm going to use is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight, and this is more of like a natural highlight, but I like it because it kind of sets a base, a very natural sheen on the cheeks, and then I layer more of an intense highlight on top. So even if that intense highlight kind of fades throughout the day, this is still underneath and it still gives a very natural glow. Now if you wanted to just look very natural, very glowy, then you can just stop here, because that's what it kind of gives you. Kind of gives your skin like a very almost wet kind of look. There's not any glitter in it, but it does just give you like this beautiful sheen. So feel free to stop at this step, but I am going to layer a little bit of a more intense highlight on top, just in like a small area. I'll show you. And because we laid that Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist on my skin like before I did this, it's still, my skin's still a little bit like tacky, so it'll intensify the highlight even more. I'm also going to take the highlighter from this Makeup Forever palette. Like I said, I don't know if you can get this, and I'm so sorry about that, but it's what I've been loving to use for my glowy looks. But another highlight, these highlights I feel like are very similar to the Becca highlights, so if you want something that's very similar, definitely check out the Becca ones. I like those as well. Usually Opal is the one I use for this look, but recently I've been really loving this one, so. But I just take a tiny bit on my brush, and I'm just going to place it like right on the tops of my cheeks. And that gives like more of an intense glow. I'm not going to put this anywhere else on my face though. I'm sure you guys noticed I went a little crazy with the Pure Nude highlight, because I want those places to be very natural glow, whereas on my cheekbones I want a little bit more of an intense glow. So this is my skin so far. Very glowy. That was kind of it for the skin, I guess. We're going to move on to eyes. And when I do glowy skin, I like to keep my eyes very natural, simple, easy. So the first thing that I'm going to do is try not to drop everything, and then I'm going to fill in my brows with the Glossier Boy Brow. When I just want simple brow days, this is the stuff I go for. I don't feel like filling in my brows right now, so we're just going to go for this. My brows have been kind of all over the place recently. I'm trying to grow them out a little bit and then reshape them, because last summer I went and got them done somewhere at like a brow place, like not a nail salon, and they royally just like messed them up. So that was not fun. It just wasn't what I normally look for in my brows, and the girl just kind of did her own thing, which I was not happy about. But anyway, so I'm trying to get them into a better place now. So I'm trying to grow them out. They're kind of unruly, but this stuff just kind of makes them look polished without a lot of effort, which I like. So I'm just running this through. Sorry if I'm like blocking your view with this mirror. So that is my brows finished. It's just super easy. I really like this product. It's very similar to the Benefit Gimme Brow, but a little bit more pigment, I feel like. But yeah, so that's my brows. So we're gonna move on to the eyes, and literally it's gonna be so simple. I'm gonna use the Dior, I never know what this is called, the Dior Show Fusion Mono Long Wear Eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Meteor. I love the shadow. Apparently they're discontinuing either this color or the line. I don't know. I think it's just this color. So get your hands on it while you can, but I absolutely love the shadow. It's just like this really pretty like bronzy tone, I guess. It doesn't have a ton of pigment in it, but it just gives this very like beautiful shine to the eye with like a little bit of bronzy pigment. I love it. I need to check out more colors in these, but I'm literally just putting it on my finger and then dabbing it on my eye. So that's what it looks like compared. I'm gonna take a little bit more, put it on this eye. I like using this because during like easy makeup days, because it's so easy to use, obviously, but it still makes your look, it kind of pulls together your look a little bit. I don't know, just been really loving it. So I also, if you want something similar but don't want to spend the like $36 on it, it was a Christmas gift. Just to find that for myself. The ColourPop shadows, the Super Shock shadows, achieve the same effect. They're a little bit more pigmented, but they achieve the same like shine to your eye. So now to bring a little bit more shine into this look, I'm going to highlight the inner corners of my eye with the Stila Kitten eyeshadow. You can use your highlighter. I normally would, but I saw this in my drawer and I was like, I haven't used this in a while, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just taking this really tiny Morphe M213 brush and just gonna place that in the outer corner, inner corners, not in the outer corners. And that's that. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me just text my boyfriend quickly because he is on his way. We are heading to lunch, so I'm gonna look very glowy for our lunch date. But then after that, we just do mascara, and I'm gonna be using the Lancome Monsieur Big. I'm just gonna curl my lashes quickly for you guys. I have been loving this mascara. It's like my all-time favorite. Oh, he's here. I was hoping I'd get this finished, but it's okay. The new Maybelline Total Temptation mascara, the brush is a good dupe for this one. It's very fluffy and it gives you a lot of length and volume. But I will say I love that mascara, but you have to be really careful. It does transfer a little bit. I didn't set my eyes one day and then I was like, whoa. So definitely set your under eyes. So mascara is done. I just did one coat today. Just wanted my eyes to look a little bit more natural. If I wanted more volume and length, I would go for 2 coats, but just doing one today. I also don't put mascara on my bottom lashes. I don't know why, I just never really have. It makes my eyes look weird. And my bottom lashes are actually really long and really like curled under. So it always transfers no matter what I do. So we're just gonna skip that. But yeah, the last thing is actually lips. And I'm gonna be using a new product that I just purchased. This is the Dior Lip Glow. I have never owned one of these before and I was so excited when I saw that they had like a peachy shade. I love peachy shade, so I'm just gonna apply this on my lips, keeping in theme with our glow, and yeah. So this is my glowy skin look, lips and all. I love that lip product. It feels very much like a chapstick, but it just like reacts to your lips pH balance, I believe, and kind of adjusts. So it's really cool. I don't know, it's a cool product. They have a ton of different shades. I love the peach shade, but I'm looking at getting more of a pink shade too. I have a problem. I've been obsessed with lip products for some reason. We're moving on anyway. So I hope if you guys are interested in trying to achieve glowy skin in the winter, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any products that you like to use when you are trying to achieve glowy skin, because I'm always looking for new products to try, especially ones that are going to make my skin look very illuminated. So I think it turned out pretty good today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in Wednesday's video. Bye guys!